So here we are, episode 11, and I still can't get my hand in the glove. It's half a glove. I gotta do half the thinking, and I still can't do it. Okay. So this is Necropolis for Forgot Games, and this is episode 11. So we're about 22 hours in. This is battle map scale of a dungeon map that is a heavy Egyptian theme. Has a heavy Egyptian theme. And last night we were working on this room. You can see that there is this central, it's a zodiac. It's an Egyptian zodiac. And we're basically going off the room description to create this. We're into the colouring stage of it. It's looking pretty good, I think. And I was having so much fun. I mean, look at this little guy right here. I'm having so much fun with this. We decided that we were going to keep on going. Now, that said, there's a little bit of toing and froing regarding the actual colouring here. You know, I was kind of like taking a batch, skipping a batch, taking the next batch to try and like make sure there was contrast. But I've kind of ended up with this family of a family of colours. Colour family? Anyway, these are all in the same hemisphere. I'm sure if I went off to get my little sort of colour disc, these guys would be all on the same side. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough contrast between them. I think I need to take this blue and throw it out on the other side over here and put something in between these two shades of green. This like Egyptian blue 2 and this malachite, and that it has a strong contrast, maybe a white. So I'm going to erase this, I'm going to move it back over here, and I think what I'm going to do before we get too deep into this is I'm going to take my guides and this in a circle, and I'm going to make a bronze now. And by bronze I mean some kind of like, I'm thinking about maybe yellow ochre with a little bit of gold right over the top of it. That's what I'm leaning towards, maybe lead and antimonite. Antimonite? We gotta learn colours here in the channel. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do tonight. My objective is to try and get as much of this disc coloured as possible. That's where my head is at, and we're going to keep using these two little swatches to do it. So you can also see that I've got the sky cam above me, so you can see that we're working on room 13. You might not be able to see that, but if I zoom out you can see we're working on room 13. So let's jump into this. Let's remember what layers I was on. Alright, so I was working on this layer. This is my colouring layer underneath my lines here. So why did I do my lines, my grey lines, on the same as the black circle? Why would I do that? I'm gonna have to do a select colour on that and delete them. We'll come back to that. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Yeah, that was a mistake. Anywho. What we're doing is we're in this area and we're going to start deleting some things. And we're just going to chill. We're just going to chill in here. I could possibly actually... No, it's fine. I was going to say I could probably do a select of the segment and then delete. But I noticed my guide is not complete to the left there, you see that? It's actually got a hole towards the top, you can see there's a dash of blue there instead. And that would mean if I did the magic wand, it would actually bleed through to the segment next to it. So we're better off just doing this by hand, like so. But this is one reason why I kind of want to get my segments dialed in, the little segment in bronze. Because then that way we can actually be properly selecting instead of using these guides. Which I think, see, here's another one. I didn't draw it to the edge, so let's work on that. Let's get our guides done. So what I want to do is we're gonna pick our circle. I'm gonna see. It's not. See if we can do this. See, it's going to select the entire freaking map. it ain't gonna work. Do I really have to do this by hand? Am I gonna have to do this by hand? I think I am. I think I am. For the most part, it will be simple. Yeah, just screw it. I was gonna say, well, I could actually do a select, but by the time I've done a circular select, I could just do this. They're just guides. Normally, I would draw my guides in a completely separate layer, but sometimes when I'm merging layers as I work, I actually merge them by accident, and it could have happened sessions ago. So for now, I think we'll be okay doing this. I think what I might do actually is, while I've still got my guides on the outer segments there. Wow, I gotta replace this this glove. This glove is allowing my hand to bleed through, and it's even when the screen is detecting me. Okay, so while I've got the guides on the outside edge, let's draw from center to outside. So for this, I want this, and I actually want just a hard round, and I'm gonna shoot for like 10 pixels. 10 pixels might be too much, so let's just do a quick test. Yeah, it's gonna be watch. See, that's too thick. But maybe I actually want it to be. You know what? No, let's make it fairly dominating. Let's make it a brush with weight, lines with weight. Let's zoom in a little bit, or zoom out, I suppose, and let's pick up. I think I'm gonna do the yellow ochre, and then actually draw a little bit on top of like one of these two. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's start with this. And we're going to call this bronze. I think it was bronze. Alright. Now I'm actually going to bleed on top of the lines a little bit. That's okay. Because, well, not that freaking much. I'm going to erase a little bit because I'm going to move it underneath. Why are you moving so much? Let's draw this back. There we go. I can get my nice straight lines like so. And this needs to come out over here. And this here. And then I'm going to move this entire thing, not only behind the black, yeah, behind the black. But this disc, we're going to actually colour in this disc. I'm going to erase these bronze bits later on, because this center disc is going to be solid, okay? But at least coming in to here, this is good. Then I don't quite know what I did there. That was a hefty one. Good. Okay. So I'm gonna for now I'm gonna leave these intersecting with the center like that. We're going to erase them later on, but for now that will enable me to select these here as a complete whole for when I want to fill those individual segments. I'm not sure yet if I want the individual segments to be different colors or the same colors. Then what I want to do is I want to get the circle. I've got to colour this bronze too. wrong one. You know, I think it might be easier with actually a mouse. Yeah. We'll do a select, modify, and expand it a little bit. Just a couple of pixels, like so. And then, likewise, we're not going to fill that with exactly the same color, but not on the circle layer. Don't do that fading. Okay, so on the bronze layer. Oh, really? You're going to make me do individuals? Oh, are you indeed? Alright, we'll do this. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire bronze layer, and we're going to add a little bit of, should we call it patina or something like that to it? Is that the word, patina? Alright. I should probably clicked on the actual colour itself, not the outside. We'll let it do its thing, and then we'll reselect. It's like, oops, I'll take a sip of whiskey while we wait. Okay, so it's done. That's not what we wanted, so we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it properly, and we're going to select. There we go. Now we're cooking on gas. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is I actually want to get my little brush here, my Happy HB, zoom in a little bit, make my brush a tad larger, and we're going to change our color. I think we're going to change it to this one. We're going to kind of scuff this up just a little. Just. Is that. Did I? I started with that one, didn't I? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to make this a little bit darker. That was a bloody color to begin with. There we go. And then we're going to come back over again. This is going to seem. I'm actually going to make this a bit bigger. This is just to add a little bit of texturing, so it's not a solid colour, you know? And then we might even come right over the top and we'll add a little bit of highlights here and there. There we go. This brush is kind of cool because it almost acts a little bit like an airbrush. You can see it's allowing the colour behind to sort of bleed through. So I tend to use this a lot in my colouring. I think that's all of it. So let's change to the lighter now. Orpiment. And let's just get a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Hey, Queen. Good evening to you, my friend. You're coming out a good time. We're doing fun stuff right here. We are colouring zodiacs, my friend. Colouring zodiacs. How have you been, Green? You know, it seems like nowadays that's a pretty shitty question almost to ask someone. With everything going on in the world, I almost feel like I'm asking someone, how are you holding up in the face of the world falling apart? I hope you've been doing something interesting. Let's just say that. This is good. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I am definitely okay with that. That is tickling my funny bone right there. Nice. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now bring that behind the circle like so. Nice. Alright, let's hit save. Now I'm gonna get rid of my guides. And then we're going to start colouring in segments. We're going to do the fun stuff. I am doing well, my friend. I have a glass of whiskey in my hand. I have a day job that keeps me occupied, I suppose. I'm sitting here hanging out with friends, colouring pretty pictures. Life is pretty good. I'm getting to run some games virtually, so can't complain. Okay, so before I get into this, you see those grey lines? I want to get rid of them. And I was a plonker, and I actually merged those grey lines with the drawing here. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of surgery on this. Might come back to the bits across the black there, and maybe we'll even leave it, but I definitely want to get rid of these bits. I love that bronze. That bronze came out pretty good. I'm okay with that. This is one reason why I used to actually draw ink on paper, like all of the time. That was where I began. But the beautiful thing about digital is, I mean, look, you can take back mistakes. You could zoom way in. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It enables you to take whatever you're doing ink on paper and take it to the next level, as far as I'm concerned. You can take risks too. You can play around. You can say, no, that's not working. I don't like it. Alright, so what do I want to do about those little grey lines? What do I want to do about them? I think they gotta go. They gotta go. Did I see your beholder? I'm not sure I did. I'm not sure I did. Do you have a picture you can share with us? I'm not sure I did. Back to that. I'm not too proud to admit, sometimes I screw up with my layers when I clean them up and merge them. And that's what I did here. I did it on the Teagle Manor map last year too. I was like, I had all my shadows on different layers, and at some point, and I don't know when, I was doing a cleanup, and it's always when I'm trying to clean up my layers, and at some point I actually merged my shadow layers with like my furniture layer, which completely defeated the bloody objective. I mean, net result works out fine, but it's like, man. And it happens like in such a way that I only noticed it bloody like sessions later, and by then I've lost hours and hours and hours. So I've just got to roll with it. I've got to do a lot of cleanup here too. But let's just stick with these bits first. And we'll probably have to walk around the perimeter a little bit too. Oh man, there we go, there we go. Oh, that one's not too bad. Did I do that one already? Come on, there we go. It might actually be kind of neat to have breaks on the black, actually. That could be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool. Let's just walk up perimeter. That's looking pretty good. Maybe breaking the black, like something like this. Maybe that could be actually kind of cool. Allow that beautiful bronze to shine through. I'm also thinking about reducing the thickness of the black. Maybe redrawing the black. Thinking about now getting rid of the bloody black. I'm not gonna lie to you. And doing it in the same style as the bronze there. You messaged me, alright. Alright, I'm gonna check it right now. Check it right now. Check it for reals. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Alright, your name's not visible on here. Green, apart from Green Lantern, which everyone sees. That's pretty nice, man. Gotta love a good beholder, right? You gotta love a good beholder. So, this was some kind of WizKids, right? So, this was kind of like plastic and everything, hence the clear here. So they had some kind of translucent thing going on for the eye? Or did you add something? I like it. I like it. I love the spell effects going on. It's kind of cool. And what did you say? It was not as orange as you wanted. No, it's good though. If anything, you could even try like an orange wash or something, you know, from like Games Workshop or something. And if you threw an orange wash on top of this, you might find that it would actually take your yellows and move them towards the orange sort of hemisphere. Light radiance segment. You get the idea. And fall into the cracks and the veins. That'd be one way of doing it. Or even throw a red wash right over the top. But I would shoot for like an orange wash or brown wash or something. Brown wash may actually do it too. Like that would fall into the cracks, pick out all of like these individual details, but also take your yellow and slide it a little bit. Might be worth trying. You could even, you know, try on a small patch of your carpet. Not that type of carpet, but you know what I'm saying? That's cool, dude. I like that mini quite a bit. You know what you gotta do, man. You know what you gotta do. You gotta get some little veins going on these eyeballs here, and then you paint the eyeballs in a gloss varnish, and maybe the teeth and the gums too. But maybe do them in a satin gloss tongue. If you really want to go to the next layer, get yourself a little bit of water effects. And like drip it out a little bit, let it go semi-hard, and then get it right between the teeth. Or even pour a little bit right behind his mouth there, let it drip between his teeth. Looking great though, man. I love it. I love it. I love miniatures. Jesus Christ. I used to know a young lady, a great painter, competition painter, called Meg Maples. She tours the world now, teaching people. And she told me once, I painted a beholder smaller than the one you did, about the whole like gloss on the eyes. And the minute she mentioned it, it seemed like one of those obvious things I completely bloody missed. And I never did actually put gloss on the eye, but it stuck with me. It's like, yeah, I should be putting bloody gloss on the eye. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm just like getting a rough, crude select in place. that's bigger than the inner circle, but not the outer circle, so I could just go, Pizzow! Because I actually kind of like just relying on the bronze there. And one thing we could do, if we really, I mean, I could take this bronze and maybe do... Now this is harsh, right? I mean, this is real harsh. Like, throttle this back. Oh, right there, here. You know, get our depth down a little bit. But that would be, or even, not even a bevel emboss. Maybe we... Something like that could be good. Get the contour going on. We could even do a bevel emboss, but do a down direction. I might actually consider that, but we'll play around with that another time, so I'm going to cancel out of that. I think that could be kind of cool. Maybe even make it look a little bit indented. That could be neat. But this is definitely pointing in the right direction. Now the problem that I have right now is my black line right there. I kind of want the black line. It kind of brings it into the tiles around it. But it's separate from my bronze, so I can't select within this segment because it will bleed out and select the entire map. So I have to join my bronze with the outer circle. I don't think that's going to be a problem. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my bronze, I'm going to take my circle, I'm going to merge them right now. Because then that way, we can have some fun. Fun! That's the bingo. We take you. Select, modify, expand. Just a couple of pixels, just so it's selecting slightly underneath the line. And then that way, when I go to my colouring layers right here, and we pick a colour. Oh, let's actually get our palette into view. We pick a colour, like Egyptian blue. We can then get our fill and do pow, like so. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take one of the colours close to it, like that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Our brush should still be on a happy HB and pretty large. And now, with the select still in place, just get a little bit of texture on there. And we're gonna paint the scarab. We're absolutely gonna paint the scarab. Now I could be pretty liberal with this. I'm trying not to be too heavy. But now, let's go back to our former blur. I'm gonna just line it off just a speck and soften off a little bit of that texturing that we're doing. Nice. See, something like that. Something like that. That's great. GL, just, you know how much I love miniatures, man, and you know how much I love painting miniatures. Just share your progress with me. I just love it. Are you going to do anything with the base? Let's go back to, did you do anything with the base yet? Not yet. But it's a good looking base for it, right? Even if you just do stone. Maybe a tuft of grass sticking up from it or something. That's actually a kind of a nice... Should bring this into chat, really. This is a nice, just... Almost... It's a simple base. But it's like it hasn't tried to be too much. Like if this was a big, huge 15mm round plastic base, I'd be saying, cut that shit off and put it on something else. This is just nice and understated. I like it. Rocking. Absolutely rocking. Sand. Sand is good. Sand, stone here or there. Alright, so let's paint the beetle. Let's paint the beetle. Let's do a deselect, select, grab our color palette. Let's bring this down here. So I'm looking for this type of affair, okay? And so we're gonna do a beetle. I'm thinking like this bright gold or the whites on the beetle could be kind of cool. I don't want to obviously do the beetle in the blues. That's or even like the turquoise or anything. It's just going to blend in with the blue background. I mean, if you actually look at this here, one thing about the Egyptian colors is there's this massive contrast between them, right? Massive. So that's what I want to do. So if I've got blue here, I want white almost to contrast with it. But I'm thinking about gold could be kind of cool for the scarab beetle. So I think that's what we'll start with. So let's come back down to this coloring layer. And let's make sure we're going to pick the lead white. I'm just trying to stay true to the Egyptian colors. Like, not that anyone's going to notice, but we know. We know. There's video evidence of me working on this map. Now, it may well be that I actually opt to do yellow instead here, like that gold colour. I'm really thinking gold, or I should say yellow, and blue contrast really nicely. I'm thinking about doing the yellow. You know it's happening. We're doing it. We're doing it. And we're going to do his legs and shit too. Let's just get a little bit of the colouring in here. That's a great idea, GL, actually. Save the colour palette to use on Egyptian tomb miniatures. That's a really cool idea. That way you could literally hold your head high and say, yeah, genuine Egyptian colours. Yeah, this type of thing. This type of thing. That's a good contrast. I do want the legs to stick out, obviously. But I'm thinking about doing that in that orpiment. I'm calling it orpiment until someone tells me that I am completely butchering that. Okay, so what are we dealing with here? We are actually dealing with this layer. This is good. This is good. This is good. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of this here. I want to keep the black separating the yellow. I don't want to blend it too much, but that actually I think looks okay. I think that looks okay. Yep. Hey, Alex Wilson. Thank you. I actually looked at those URLs that you gave me yesterday. They were actually really cool. One was like a quiz type of thing, right? But the first one was actually really, really, really informative. It was actually, I got my learn on. I love getting my learn on. So thank you for that. Akodokun. Welcome, Akodokun. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit while I take a little sip of whiskey. This is what we're working on. It's actually this big, But you can see way to the north, I haven't actually done the walls or the floors or anything. The whole thing is like 60 inches by 70 inches or something freaking ridiculous. That's what it's going to be printed at. It's literally going to be printed at that scale. So you can put miniatures on this thing. You'll be able to zoom in like this, put a miniature right there. We're going to do all of the floor contents. We're going to do little sand drifts. We're going to do little cobwebs, you name it. We're going to detail this whole thing. We're focusing on walls, floors, and the background texturing. That's what we're focusing on right now. And this room, its floor, happens to be a design. I don't think there's too many rooms like this. But so this room is going to need a lot of labor of love. So this is where we're at right now. So from this, to this. This looks great though. That, by the way, is about print size. Each of those squares is about 1 inch across on my screen right now. So that is like literally put a little miniature on the top there and move it around. Give me initiative. So I think this is definitely gonna be a super sexy room. I'm really excited about it. So what I'm trying to do now is ensure that our colours aren't in the same family next to each other. And Jack, my husband, suggested last night, actually, instead of going across, whoever did this little sort of palette, come down. Like red next to green would probably actually contrast nicely, then yellow next to that. So maybe what we're going to do between these two, maybe we'll do a red back here. And then maybe we'll do a yellow here. And then maybe a different type of green. And a red. And a yellow. And then, yeah, I think that could work. I think that could definitely work. Hey, Gary Gygax! Good to see you, my friend. I actually kind of like that I'm streaming a little bit earlier, by the way. Because I get to hang out with you a little bit more on your stream, but you get to hang out a little bit more on my stream while you're eating. So it's kind of cool. Too scoop cute. Alright, so where's my mouse pointer gone? It's right there. I see it. It's a little tiny guy. Jesus Christ, that's a small pointer. Okay, anyway. We are going to do a select. We're going to do the circle. And we're going to do you. We are going to do you, darling. And we're going to actually, between these two, did we say red? Or did we say yellow? I think we're going to do red. Or red, lead. I should do that select, modify, expand 2 pixels as a recorded action because I use it a lot. And then apply a keyboard shortcut to that action. All in good time. Alright, so let's select a layer, make sure we're on the right layer. We are, and then let's fill that. You know, I think let's just do all of our colours before I do the detailing. I think that works. Right, circle. Yeah. You know, okay. Windows, actions. Let's do a new action. We're going to call it select, modify 2 pixels, and we're going to record this. Select, modify, expand 2 pixels. Done. Okay, we stop that. So in theory, if I now click this, play, and then we're going to fill it with yellow. I'm not sure about the yellow, by the way. Oh, I just filled it in on one bloody layer because I don't want to be on that. I want to be on this. I don't want to blend in with the bronze too much, but I don't think we're going to do that many yellows here. I think we can get away with it. We're also going to do, by the way, like this gold and ornament. These are all going to be gold. All of these little tablets are going to be gold. They're going to look so cute. Alright, so let's do this section here. So select circle, select that one. And then we hit our... I'm not going to save it. I'm a rebel. Alright, so we did our little action. That was quick. That's good. Are we going to come up to verdigris? Verdigris. It almost feels like it's going to be like too similar to this stuff. But maybe all the colours are kind of similar. I mean, is that okay? Like, we're going to use 12 colours just in this block, and they feel very similar. I feel like skipping a column and coming across, which would put on this Criscola. Criscola. Is that Criscola? Alright, it looks a little turquoise to me, but Criscola. Okay, and then we grab this layer, and we do this. I am down. I love these Egyptian colours. They're fantastic. Alright, which means we're going to do madder next. So up to the circle, grab this. We hit our action. This action is already paying for itself. And then we're going to do madder, and we're gonna fill that. I'm actually feeling this, which means our ochre, yellow ochre is gonna be next to the blue. I think that's gonna be okay. Now we said we're gonna skip a row, which puts us on Egyptian blue. Clearly we can't do that, so maybe I hit the white next. I think that's what we're going to do. I kind of want to move into our ivory blacks or our lamp blacks or our indigos. I'm right about this sort of phase. Hey, Miss J, I haven't seen you in like 1,000,000 years. So what were we doing? We just did madder. We're going to do yellow ochre next. Okay. Good to see you, Miss J. How are you doing over there, young lady? This is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. Let's move this guy. Let's move him away from things. Oops. Oh. Oh. What's that? I just hit a keyboard shortcut. What? Oh. What is this? Oh no. What am I doing? What am I doing? What? Oh, I might be cropping. I don't want to do that. What shows in my history? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I think that's a crop tool. That looks freaking awesome. I don't want that right now. There we go. Yeah, it's crop. I'm on a crop tool. That's dangerous. Alright, let's move ourselves out just a wiggle bit. Let's move him up here. I am loving this so much. Miss J, throwing out an idea. If there's a real sweet pad that you're in, like, you know, nice big house, got a pool, you know, a little bit of land, nothing too unwieldy, maybe the next time you just go, yeah, nah, I don't wanna, I'm good. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but I actually kind of like where I'm at, so... thanks for the keys, bro. Just see how that goes. Just putting that out there. Alright, select, hit our little action, and then we come back up to this one, or down to this one. What colour are we doing now? Not Egyptian blue, chalk white. Are we going to do chalk white? I kind of want to reserve chalk white for the centre. No, I don't, because I'm going to put gold on that. I don't want to put chalk white in the centre at all. I could just come straight to real gar. I could do real gar. I don't think that would be inappropriate. I kind of don't want to do white on the outside. I've got a lot of white on these girls here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to skip the white. I'm going to do real gar. Which is a very bright colour. Just saying. Michelle, it was just an idea, girl. And if you don't like it, that's cool. I mean, I'm just pushing it out there. We can talk about it a little bit. You can just push it back. It's all good. Just saying you could try it. You could try it, see what happens. Worst case, they kick you out anyway. And you never get another house sitting job again. Mister, I can imagine, like... I think what you're doing is actually really cool. Because for people to trust you with their house, their belongings, and everything that's in it, that's... A house is someone's soul, you know what I'm saying? And for you to be invited into that to protect it, I think means a lot. And the fact that you are trusted is... It's beyond words. Honestly, it's beyond words. There's one person on this planet that I kind of trust to like set the house for Jack and I. So I get it. I really get it. But I also get that there's kind of a relationship there. It's you and their house protecting it. When they come home with daughters and sons and all, that's a different thing going on. Now you're just staying with them. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's a different dynamic at that point. Alright, so we did real gar. Real gar. So is Egyptian blue our next one? I think it might be. I think it might be. Which means this one will be azurite, because I'm going to skip the lead, white and gold. That could work. And maybe we make this one silver. That could work. I think that could work. I think all of that could work. Hey, zombie! I feel you, Miss J. I feel you a lot. Zombie, we just dicked around. We were just waiting for you. This is basically as far as we've got so far, but you'll see that I've added bronze lines instead of my guidelines. I actually got rid of the interior black circle. It was too dark, man. So I've got rid of that. There's a lot of this I'll probably redraw as we go. So I'm basically right now just going around the exterior. This was like a malachite or something up here. This was pretty dark blue. Is malachite the colour? Not malachite, Egyptian blue. I moved the Egyptian blue down here because it was all in the same family up here. I introduced just red lead here because there's more of a contrast. So we're going on contrast. Instead of going across the swatch, we're going down the swatch. I'm ignoring the chalk white and the lead white for now. And assuming that all of this balances out and feels good, then I'm actually going to come into each segment and actually colour the little caricatures and get a little bit of texturing in, like this one, and this one has. So we haven't done that much, but we've had fun doing it, my friend. Dungeon Tomb, good to see you. Happy 3 o'clock in the morning. It is a puzzle. It is a puzzle. This room has this design on the floor and a very complex description for what you can see here. And there's a pointer here, which we're going to colour in and everything. And you have to figure out. I don't think it's figuring out necessarily where this goes. I'm not quite sure because I don't like doing spoilers on the chat. But you do have to basically point this where you want it. There's also going to be a big, huge mother effing statue down here. Alright? So it's like if you get this combo wrong, the statue pummels your face in. So it is a puzzle. And that's what all of these little symbols and shit are for. And so this is where we're cleaning this shit up and we're colouring it in. Alright, so next segment. This one, by the way, lovely hanging out with you guys and girls tonight. I really mean that. It's like, this is honestly as much social interaction as I get nowadays. And I don't mean that in a sad way. We all know what the world is like. Come back down here, come here. So we just did Egyptian Blue 2. Skip this, gold. We're not doing gold because I want these guys to be gold. So that means Azurite. I wanted this segment to be dark, which you can see from this. Azurite, cool, bro. I don't think I want to make it black. I don't think I want to make it black. I am going to do Azurite. I'm going to do Azurite here. Lapis Lazuli. That could be a cool one. Very similar to the Azurite. I mean, look at the difference in colour. On the colour swatch over there. They're in the same family, right? They're definitely in the same family. I think I'm going to pick this one. Because we don't have anything like this over here. Although, is that going to be 2 in the family or next door to it? Nah, we're going to run the risk. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, and then we'll put the silver in between the two. Let's do it. Let's see what this looks like. That has to be heavily cleaned up. But okay, that's going to be the colour there. I am a puzzle with an enigma. What is that black adder quote? It's like 3 layers deep. You're like a puzzle with an enigma within something. Come on, someone help me out with that. That is a black adder quote. I remember laughing my ass off to that. Alright, back to the circle, back to the select, back to the last little segment here. Hit our little action to expand that out. I got a keyboard shortcut that I'm going to use that a lot. And then we said we were going to do silver, so let's grab the silver. And let's then do a fill on this layer. Shkapow. And then we're going to deselect and we're going to zoom out for a moment. That is battle map scale right about there. i.e. it won't get printed any larger than that. I think detail, good. I think though our colours contrast enough, right? I think those are pretty good contrasts. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm ready to work on each one now, each segment. Alright, now hit save. A riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. Thank you. That's it. That's it. Thank you, Vixen. A riddle wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in an enigma. I loved it when they said that line. That stuck me with me for the longest time. I love Blackadder. Jesus Christ. There's a few shows on this planet that I can re-watch. Like over and over and over. Or just scenes. You know what I'm saying? And Blackadder is in that short list. For sure. Almost any of them. Such a good show. Alright. So what I want to do now is I'm going to stick on this layer 15 here. Alright. So there are some details here that I want to get rid of, okay? Like this hand-drawn sort of lines. I want to get rid of that. The hand-drawn shading inside that, we're going to get rid of that. This one I'm okay with. This is an abomination. We need to do a big cleanup there. A little bit of cleanup on the scorpion. And a little bit of cleanup right here. So, but apart from that, I also want to add a little bit of texture to these. So depending on what we're looking at, if it's a bright color, I'm going to do a dark texturing. If it's a darker color, I'm going to do a lighter texturing. And we'll probably just work our way around. This one here is a darker color, we'll do a lighter texture. This needs big cleanup. Big cleanup. But let's start, let's say, here. And let's just move our way around clockwise. Because why not? So we take the design. We clean it up a little bit. Remember, some of these lines we're actually going to replace with colored versions. In this instance, I feel like a yellow line would be really cool. That would contrast nicely with the red. Sometimes it is all about just getting that contrast, and with these Egyptian colors, that definitely seems true. I don't know what's going on there. We'll get to the bottom of that, Kusu. Yes, we will. Let's just clean you up. And there we go. This is good. This is good. This is good. Excellent. Excellent. What the frick is that? So if we actually get rid of our coloring, it's part of our coloring. Really? That feels weird. That feels like kind of random. Random. Alright, but solved now, so that's good. Alright, so what colour do we paint this guy? I'm thinking gold could be kind of cool. The orpiment. It takes me like I sound like one of those old cars. Orpiment. It's like ying. Jesus Christ, come up, Vaden. Orpiment with maybe a gold highlight. Ochre with an orpiment highlight. I'm leaning towards ochre with an orpiment highlight. Or lead antimonite with an orpiment highlight. That would contrast quite nicely, I think, with the I think that's a red lead background. So let's do that. And we're on the colouring layer right here. So we're kind of still underneath the ink. If you've been in the channel before, you know that's how I like to colour. And then that way the ink kind of wins. Now, we are going to though come back on top of the ink. And we're going to change some of that ink to actually be colour instead. But for now, just a basic colour. We're doing this. Love a good contrast. This is nice. Look at this. Look how much this is popping off the page. I think I'm going to leave the tail, by the way, just some different colours. So we're going to come back to that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And I think we're going to actually grab a slightly darker version of this. This is just adding a little bit of texture onto it. A little bit like this guy, just a bit of texturing on it, or this guy over here, you know. We don't need to sort of get too detailed. The print won't be at this size, but I feel like a little bit. It can't be a solid color. A solid color would just be ridiculous. So something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and we're going to get a little bit of a darker color. This is bright. This is a bright color here. So we are going to definitely just add a little bit of shadows to this. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Then I want to kind of do this guy's tail here, and I actually really want to contrast quite sharply, even with the gold and the yellows and shit that we've got going on. I'm thinking of blue. I'm thinking like something ridiculous like Criscola up here. But varying the fins. And maybe we then do, maybe we go darker, or maybe go white. Let's just do chalk white. Boom. For something like that. And then what I want to do is actually, let's get our yellow ochre right here. Oh, I want to then come up onto the design, which is the drawing layer, and just soften up some of these blacks a little bit. I'm the first one to admit that sometimes my blacks are too harsh. I'm a very black and white style. Sometimes the colouring just needs something a little bit more subtle. Something like that. That there is the print scale. I'm gonna hit save. And I think that's looking pretty good. I just literally hit save, you motherfuckers. Sorry, children friendly channel and all. But that there is the miniature scale. That is as detailed as you're gonna see it. So the fact that we've gone this deep is honestly way deeper than we need to go. That's what she said. No, I didn't. That's Cave Geek's freaking influence right there. But You get the idea. I think that is pretty much on the mark. Dungeon Tomb asks, what is the dark line between the creature with the scorpion tail, which is probably a scorpion, right? Oh, you're talking about this guy? And the crab creature. What is the dark line? What is the dark line between the creature? So what's the dark line between this and this? Well, there isn't a dark line. I'm not sure what dark line you're referring to. Oh, there's this. Yeah, that's a grid. I have actually a grid on this thing because remember, this is a battle map for miniatures. Where the frick is my grid? What layer is my grid on? Ink, walls, pillar. What layer is my grid on? Well, here's one way of finding out. I think you might be talking about this, right? Grid. Hey, it's called grid. What layer is my grid on? The grid layer? Maybe. Yeah, so is that what you were talking about? So, the thing about the grid is I'm going to zoom out for a moment for you guys and girls. And I'm actually going to do a micro grid. I'm going to turn Photoshop's grid on. Alright, see you later, Kate. Come on, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. My system is going. Anyway. See, there's proof. It's like, oh, do you want to rotate? No, I don't. So, each one of those squares, and I'm talking about the big squares, is 1 inch by 1 inch. You could put all for Dungeon Tomb, 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. That's what these are. That's battle map scale. That is put a miniature in the middle of one of those scale. Okay? So in other words, we zoom out just a wickle bit, maybe like not being rotated funny, but zoom out to about there. I think my system must be doing some kind of save in the background. But anyway, to about there. That's battle map scale. Each of those is 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, right? Your standard battle map square. This toggle right here, that's Photoshop's grid on top of it. And those are clearly 1/4 inches or 2.5 centimeters. Whatever that is. 8 millimeters? Something like that. Anyway, so then, if I turn them off, you'll see I actually drew my own grid on those big X's. Because what I don't want to have is an actual solid grid. I don't like my dungeon maps to have a solid grid over the top. It almost feels it feels false, right? So I do this sort of intersection. I do an intersection grid, and then I can either delete this intersection if I don't need it. Like here, I don't need it. All of these I actually don't need because we've actually got our flagstones are the grid. But anywhere that I do need to show an intersection, maybe here, maybe like here, or maybe here, I'll actually use this, this probably won't be the line we were talking about. If I do need to show an intersection, I'll get this, and I'll actually turn it into a little white cross that filters out towards the outside edges. And like all of these I can probably delete, right, on the walls here. Or maybe I do. But maybe, like, for someone to see what the flagstone is here, if I don't draw in the flagstone, maybe I'll leave that in and I just do a little whoop whoop with a little cross. That's what we did on Teagle. Like here, I actually don't need them on this. And I'm probably not going to draw them on this. But this would be a prime example. This here has no discernible grid on it. This room does. This does not. So if you move from this square in, can you tell where you're at? I would argue you can. So I'm not going to bother necessarily doing a little intersection. But if I did do an intersection, maybe I'd do it right here. You know? But also, that's what that is. So, like, we do a little intersection. Oops, I just moved my grid. But we do a little intersection right here. Or we do a little intersection right here. I'm probably not going to do this, by the way. I'm probably going to delete this actual dark line. But for now, the grid is all over the map. And then we'll come back through near the end and we'll decide what we want to keep or what we want to delete. Hope that answered the question. Yeah, some of the stones have turned out really good, Dungeon. I've been quite happy with how they've turned out. So this file right now, Dungeon Tomb, is, let's just see, shall we? This is, by the way, a PSB map. It's not a PSD. PSB is a large file format, so anytime that I'm working on a map that's big, you have to go large file format for Photoshop. And this is currently coming in at 1.18 gigabytes. That's the file size for this. 1.18 gigabytes. I forget what Teagle was. I'm not going to look it up right now. This won't be as large as Teagle. No, it won't be as large as Teagle. Although, there's certain aspects of this that I'm actually drawing larger than Teagle. Believe it or not. So, like, we're doing 450 DPI. Teagle was 600. But 450 is going to be fine for the purposes that they need. Teagle was smaller in inches dimension. This is 66 inches by 81 inches. This thing is a monster in size, each one being 450 dpi. So maybe, you know, it could rival Teagle for pure size. File size wise. Because Teagle was almost, I drew it smaller, but a higher DPI, and it blew up just fine. This, I've reduced the DPI just a little bit, so my computer can handle it more, but I upped the actual physical width and height a lot more. Well, this thing is freaking monstrous. Alright, so on the blue, or the turquoise, whatever colour you are, I feel like these could be white. I feel like we could throw in a lot of colours on this freaking piece. I feel like we could throw a lot of colours on this. But not greens. Not greens. No. Silver, whites, golds, ochre, lead, antimonite, maybe a pormiment, maybe dark blues like the azurites, Egyptian blues, lapis lazuli, silvers. Let's stick with them. Let's stay away from the green family, and we'll go for these. I'm feeling white. Let's do it. Yeah, figuring, Dungeon, that this was going to be larger than 2 gigabytes, I figured there was absolute guarantee that I was going to need to go PSP, so I just started with PSP to begin with. I'd probably do one PSP file a year. Most of the time you don't need it, you know? I say because I just splooted. There we go. You know, how about a little bit of shading? How a little bit of shading, not that dark, but just a little bit of skippy. And let's actually come in towards this. Much reduced size. This actual design is going to take me way longer to draw than I was expecting. I think I'm actually going to come over this, by the way. And what I'm thinking about, is something like, what if we did yellow ochre and we go Zombie. So Zombie, you got a call about half an hour ago. More of our tax dollars going to waste. Building next to a mine has someone that can't cook for shit. Alarms going off and fire trucks are on their way. That's why you got called, huh? Alright. And Dungeon, you're right, my friend. No, it's the details. I mean, anyone could do a dungeon map, right? It's the little love and details and the personality. That's my hallmark. You can look at any room in Teagle, any freaking room in Teagle, and see a different story. And so I'm telling my own story outside of the writing. That's what I do, and that's what we're gonna do here. It is all about the details. So, Dungeon, what is your D&D project? Tell me about it. I have a lot of doubt about this, or not so much doubt, but question. I have questions about this. There's so many pieces to this. Let's make this bush a little bit larger. That works. That definitely works. Stick with the colors that we know. Yeah, This definitely works. Let's give a little bit of a shape to the hindquarters here. Okay, and then wow, yeah, I need a good contrast here. And I've got it like Egyptian blue or turquoise in the background. Shoot. Red. It's got to be red. We've got to do a red. So let's hit this one up. And then I think we could do yellow for the segments, like a gold, like the literally the Egyptian gold that you see in the top right corner there. Maybe a little bit of pormiment. A pormiment. Wow, starting that engine again. Alright. Something like this. And a little bit of definite this. I feel like we could probably get away with a little bit of, you know what, azurite. Because it's so much darker than the, I don't know if this is Criscola or turquoise. Yeah. Alright, and then what if we slid towards the gold? Nice. Well, if we're doing gold, if we do 1, 2, 3, and then we slide this towards, you know what, azurite again. And how about an azurite tail? Can't do Egyptian blue. Can't do Egyptian blue. It's gonna have to be something like lead white. Just as highlights. There we go. I think that's okay. That's good enough. That's close enough right there. Dungeon Tomb. By the way, you Sestercius coins you could make a small detail on a map if it can fit, like, say 5,000 points, and then someone can say a skeleton, just an idea. I'm not following you. Okay, so using channel coins, a detail on the map. I see where you're going with this. Okay. And then Dungeon Tomb says, I am making monsters for D&D and other books of A5 monster cards. Okay. Put a small picture of the monster in the left corner, all stat blocks, abilities. It's almost like you pull out a little postcard. There's your monster. I like that. It's kind of cool. I like both of those ideas. I'm going to get at least 2 more segments. God damn it, done this evening. But come on. Those segments we've done, don't they look freaking lovely? Now, bear in mind, this whole interior has to be done. This is like going to be 8 hours of colouring just on this one room. This is going to be huge. But look how beautiful those segments look. They honestly, they make me feel warm and fuzzy. They're so cute. They're so cute. Right, let's do Mr. Scorpion Man. So on the silver, so let's do the silver first, right? Because actually this. I probably just did a dot, by the way, right here, because I accidentally did it with a brush. Probably not going to show up. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's do the design. What we're going to do is just clean up the design a little bit. We're going to pull away from this concept of line shadows. We're going to get rid of these. This is no good. This is no good. Come on. Alright. Nice. Silver background. I kind of want to come darker, okay? Sometimes you go lighter, sometimes you come darker. We're going to do darker. We're going to do a little bit of this. And anywhere that I feel the darker is too dark, we are going to then lighten it up. So we're kind of doing light and dark. We'll come back to the silver. We'll just add a touch of highlight. And we're just going to come in over the top. This will just take the edge off those harsh, dark patches, right? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And then we need little Mr. Scorpion. Scorpion Man! Do we do like ivory black? Do we do green? Like a good sharp green, like indigo over there. I didn't realize indigo was a green. That looks green to me. Like that. That's not blue, right? I thought indigo was meant to be blue. That looks green to me. Anyway. Malachite and maybe indigo? Indigo is blue? Really? Because compare, like azurite, lapis lazuli look blue to me. Even the Egyptian blue looks blue to me. Indigo starts to slide towards the green spectrum for me. But I am actually a little bit colorblind on greens. You heard it here first, folks. So that might be actually going into a spectrum I actually can't see. Look at that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to colour this guy in the base layer in the indigo. And then we are going to come through and we are going to slide it towards, honestly, the malachites and the verdigris. But I kind of just want to get this base in first. Yeah, Vixen, send it across. Send it across. I genuinely, honestly, like getting my learn on all of the time. See, this is where we learned that Vixen actually sends me a link to a virus. And it's like, learn that, bitch. But yeah, I actually love learning all of the time. I generally do. As part of, I think, the joy of freaking being alive. You know, it's like, even my day job has me, like, Googling stuff all of the time. Just trying to, like, what is this? What is this? I instead of going, I don't know. It's like, I want to learn. I want to grow from this. Ancient Egypt Online. Color. Alright. Taking a while to load. I'm going to put this off to one side. I'm going to let it load over. Oh, now it's loading. Now it's loading. Okay. Color in Ancient Egypt. Very cool. I look forward to reading that. Nice. The ancient Egyptian palette was formed around 6 main color groups. Green. Yeah. Alright, so let's actually zoom out. Green. Oh. Wadji. Red. Dasher. Yeah, okay, we see those two. Blue. Irichu or Kabeshbedjin. I'm terrible at pronouncing shit. But blues, okay, we see that too. Yellow, we definitely see them. White, we see them. And black, we see them. Those are the colours. That's the palette we've got. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Alright, so we've got a little bit of malachite. So this guy's going green. That's what we're doing right here. I think I'm going to keep it fairly simple. I think we're going to concentrate on the greens that we've got going on here. Right, and I think I want to do something different with, like, down the center here and his tail. Yeah, but I'm gonna do his stinger in green, like so. And I think what we're gonna do is something like ochre. That'll do. Alright, so this guy needs a lot of cleanup. So let's actually just get rid of our colouring for a moment. This is a scales, and it's got like a bird sitting with above the scales with a sunburst. I want to get rid of all of this Fako shadowing here for a moment. It's terribles. This is just not working for me. Do you use the libraries. What are the libraries in Photoshop? That might answer the question. What are the libraries? Dungeon 2, you actually tend to suggest pretty good things to me. But, like, you know, Photoshop features that I don't tend to utilize. And I'm guessing the libraries is one of them. Get a little bit difficult to erase some shit when my glove keeps interfering, but let's see if we can get this to work. Alright, we may be ending the stream with me just having cleaned up this particular segment. But then we'll come back tomorrow, because this is way too much... Jeez, come here! It is way too much fun to not be actually using the opportunity to colour. So let's get this ready for tomorrow here. So tomorrow can be all about the colouring. Dungeon 2, you can make groups in there. So X makes a group for this map. You make and then drag all different tiles called palette in. You save all colour, the colour palette, small chests, scans and so on. Oh yeah, you know what? So to answer your question, Dungeon 2, no, I don't. But that's only because my maps tend to be very highly customized. Like, I don't think project to project, oop, that was a mistake. I'm gonna leave it. Project to project, I think my maps typically are very different, even down to palette, from one to another. But the Frogs actually invited me into one of their libraries, so I know what you're talking about. Oh. Come on. And I don't actually think I utilized it. But I do want to say I know exactly what you're talking about. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Yeah, you see, I just fucked that up. I'm going to correct it. I'm going to correct it by hand. I'm deleting my own bloody work here. Hold on. There we go. Brush black. Alright. Oh, black, girl, black. Yeah, I screwed the pooch on that one. But I can fix it. I can fix it. Right, so that. Let's get a little bit of this going on. Come on, baby, come on. and I turned that layer off, so it's back now, so it's all good. Alright, so Dyson Logos Raid. Oh my word, literally this was going to be the end of the stream, but Dyson is here. Excuse me. In fact, oh Dyson, you're the dungeon master here, my friend, and I'm drawing a dungeon right now. I'm not sure what to say. I feel like a bit of an interloper. Like I'm in Dyson territory right here. I should be in cities, shit like that. And you literally just came into my territory, and I'm drawing, I'm sorry, a dungeon. So Dyson, and the raid, thank you for joining me. This was about actually towards the end of my stream. I'm best known for my city maps. Occasionally I get engaged to draw a dungeon map. Typically if I am, people want me to do the same level of detail that I do on a city, on my dungeons. So this is a whopping map. It is 66 inches by 81 inches in size. I am drawing a massive battle map. And this is fairly early stage. This is for Forgot Games. It's a Necropolis map. It's Egyptian inspired. Super early stages. Every flagstone, every brick in the wall, every stone, every step is hand drawn, just like Dyson does. A little bit of a different style, and it's going to print about this size. And what we do is, I'm working on the walls and the floors right now, and I read the descriptions from the scenario. This particular room, for example, said, and the pillars rest upon plinths that look like people are being crushed by the pillar. So he drew a whole bunch of people getting crushed by the pillar. I'm going to actually do all of the floors of this place first. This is obviously a very work in progress, nothing finished here. But we're doing the walls and the floors, and then we can actually start doing the details. We'll draw sarcophagus, we'll draw the hieroglyphics, we'll draw the cobwebs, etc. And we've been labouring, you can see the sky cam above me, on this room right here, which I think is room 13. And you'll see that there's this abstract sort of symbol on room 13 above me. But the room description is this zodiac. It's an Egyptian zodiac. So we're kind of currently drawing and colouring the Egyptian zodiac. That's what we're doing right here. And we've got a long way to go. This Dyson knocks out maps in like 12 hours or so. I kind of am the other spectrum of Dyson, okay? I have been ever since I was 12. This thing is going to be 100-hour map, 120-hour map. Teagle Manor was 350 hours. This one is about a quarter of the size. It is going to be a labour of love. Once per year, I do this massive labour of love. I told myself the last map was that. I think this one's going to beat it. So this is what we're doing. I've been basically working my way, and you can see from the sky cam above me, we basically, we make sure that we're copying the floor plan correctly, and I've been trying to spread out, drawing walls, drawing flagstones, and colouring. So not everyone's sort of stream is the same. This one here was a dark stone floor. Drawing a dark stone floor and making it actually stand out, anything but black. This is the approach that I took. And then I decided to throw in a bunch of hieroglyphics too, just to make it stand out. So this is what we're doing. And the reason why you see two big pictures right there is we're using the Egyptian palette. I went off, I did a little bit of research. I grabbed an inspirational image and the colour palette of ancient Egypt. So we make sure that we're colouring everything as per the palette they had available. This is what we're doing. So Dyson, and good night, by the way, Dungeon. So, I want to say I draw a bit shit, man. I probably draw 6 maps a year, right? I mean, that's probably about the mark. But out of those 6 maps, 1 or 2 of them, like, take up a huge chunk of the year. Like, last year, it was Teagle Manor for Fog God Games. It was this whopping sized map, like, phenomenally huge and detailed, and took me 350 hours to do. That one took a whole year for me to complete, with other projects getting interspersed around it. So let's just say it's the disruptive projects, right? It's the projects that push the others out the way. This one is a disruptive project, but also the city map that we just did. And in fact, if you guys have an interest, I'll actually bring this up. I'm actually gonna let me just open this up. I'm gonna bring open my last project, okay? So you can see the thing that I'm typically doing. This particular one, which was for Noble Dwarf, it was called Light Harbor. And which was, I've got 3 PSDs in here. How do I have 3 PSDs? That's an old one. That's an old one. It's got to be this one. Alright. So I thought Light Harbor was going to be the big one for the year because it took me about 80 hours to do. But this one's going to be longer, right? So I think this is going to be the big one for the year. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do a project for Troll Lord Games, so we're going to overlap them at the same time. But this was Light Harbor. This was the first quarter of the year. I actually did the Gary Gygax map for GaryCon. First part of the year. So I guess that's map number 1. Then this is map number 2 for the year, this is typically what I'm known for, drawing the city maps. I did the Gaxmore map for last year too. Like in Q4 of last year. But I mean, the labours of love. I mean, this shit takes me a long time to do. You know, I'm not quick. I'm not quick. But you can zoom all the way in on any of my pieces, and you know, I don't know what to say. It's like I'm a little bit weird. Thank you, Dyson. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I think I can hang on the city front, you know what I'm saying? But they take time, man. I see your posts about, hey, I knocked out 7 maps this week, and and they're all gorgeous maps. They're freaking gorgeous maps. And I am the opposite of that. I am just the opposite. But I've been that way my entire life, you know, ever since I entered an art competition and I put this huge amount of time into the piece. It's like, I like the result of what I do. They take a long time to get there. They do. Nothing I do is quick. I can't do quick. It's not what I do. My style is slow, methodical, super detailed. But my maps then have huge personality, I think. It's not for everyone. It's certainly not the type of thing where I am going to be mainstream, like throwing my shit into WotC books or anything like that. My pieces are one-off specials, you know? And they come with a volume of hours to match. But I love doing them. I love doing them. I have a lot of fun with them, and this was a labor of love, you know? Yeah, 182 maps, or 150 maps a year. Seriously, dude, I can't even count. I might have 100 maps in my lifetime at this point, you know? Yeah, what is it? 150 maps. Okay, so 150 maps a year. That is seriously, that's more than 10 maps a month. You're operating strongly on more than 10 maps a month. So, which means you're solidly doing like 3 maps a week. 3 maps a week. If I was full time, I would do 1 map a month. For context. Maybe I would do 2 maps a month if I was full time. Like this map that we're looking at, in all seriousness, was about an 80-hour map. So this is a 2-week map, which means I'm doing 2 maps a month, and you're doing like 12 minimum. I mean, there is a difference to our styles. There is a difference to our audience, my friend. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And for now, it's this one. And there's actually a lot of maps in this book. And like, let's just say for the sake of argument, there's 20 maps in this book. 19 of them are being done by someone else, Robert Altbauer. He's the Frog God mapper. Super quick, does great maps. I just come in and do the one map where they want this Sistine Chapel. That's what I do. I do the Labors of Love, and I go mad once a year doing them. Alright, get out of it, Dyson. Love you, my friend. Don't talk to you enough. This is great, actually. This is a perfect stop to the stream for me. We've been colouring this floor piece. We're going to continue doing it. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments done out of 12. Then we have to do the entire interior segments. We're going to get back to this tomorrow night. I did like 4 segments tonight. Let's hope tomorrow I can do more than that. Until then, back tomorrow night, Wednesday, same time, same floor, same Zodiac. I'll see you all tomorrow. Dyson, take care, man. I'll see you on the flip side. I love you, my friends. You're keeping me sane.